Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know if it's a good question, but it's a question.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time on the channel, hit subscribe right now. Christmas might be over, but Feuerschwanz have one big gift for you still. Their new album Memento Mori is coming out on New Year's Eve, and I sat down with the Hauptmann to learn all about it.
Hauptmann, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for coming on the show again. I had a lot of fun talking to you a few months ago when we were talking about your live album. Now a new studio album is coming out, Memento Mori, Time to Die. I assume it doesn't mean it's the last album, far from it. We're a few weeks away. You must be excited.
Yes, it's so crazy. We had a live album, The Last Battle, Die letzte Schlacht, and now our new album, Memento Mori, comes on New Year, and it's so fantastic.
Yeah. Last time that we spoke, you mentioned that, the evolution of the band from more folk music to more of a heavier sound was in part due to your guitar player, who was getting a little bored and wanted to play a little bit, more heavy stuff. Well, it seems that he's very happy now, because I had a chance to listen to the full album, and I think it's safe to say that this is the heaviest album that we've heard of Feuerschwanz so far.
Yes, yes, exactly. It's a development from Das Elfte Gebot to Memento Mori. It's very solid and very. Another guy says every song is like a blockbuster.
I won't give away too many surprises for people that have not had a chance to listen to the album yet, because there definitely are quite a few surprises on the album. But apart from one song that is a little bit more calm, the foot is on the gas, there's a lot of power. We've already heard, or everyone has already heard, the Untot im Drachtenboot, if I pronounce that correctly.
Yes, very good.
That's a heavier single. But with songs like Ultima Nocte, Feuer und Schwert, and then also Rausch der Barbarei, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of power metal influence into the sound of the band today.
Yes, the time of the songs was the last lockdown time in winter 2020 and 21, and it was a hard time last year, and so the songs are battle songs and epic battles and another mythology themes, but very blood, very much blood.
There's still a level of humor with the band today for sure, but it all feels a little less silly, maybe as a way to describe that. And you say yourself, there's themes from mythology and fantasy. There's also historical events with a song about Hannibal that you talk about. But there's still fun and games and stories of mindless zombies and religious preachers trying to take over your fictitious world. That sounds like fun and games, but at the same time, you don't have to dig too deep to find a bunch of metaphors for today.
Yes, it's Memento Mori is a battle cry against the pandemic situation, and much metaphorical stories in it, and the humor is more behind the scene, but there is humor. Perhaps, for example, Hannibal, the man from the conqueror of Rome, perhaps, and the story, Feuerschwanz story, is a love story with a metaphorical way of Hannibal and Antiportas of Rome, Antiportas of his love. It's a little bit behind the scene.
So that element is still there. It's not that Feuerschwanz all of a sudden with Memento Mori made an extremely serious socio-political album for all the fans.
Memento Mori, denn du nimmst nichts mit ins Grab. Wisch auf deinen Sohn.
The song Memento Mori is in the tradition of das 11. Gebot, and in the face of the death, you have to remember you can die, and so use your time and live now.
Yeah, exactly. You have everything to live for, and time goes fast. So let's talk about some things that make us happy. I don't think there are many things that make me as happy as watching Johanna play the violin with always such a massive big smile on her face. Like it seems like it's impossible for her to play her instrument and ever, be down. Is that just the way she comes across in videos and on stage, or is she really just always that happy personality?
Every time when she plays the violin, she's laughing, and this is great. This is her personality, yes. On the stage, Johanna is a very positive woman, and the other side of Johanna is the manager of the band, and he's very tough.
She's sitting off camera with a gun pointing at you.
Yes, she says, "Okay, tomorrow I need the interview," and the phone is ringing, and wow, where's the interview? And this is the other face of Johanna, but yes, she's a very, very powerful woman.
Well, talking about powerful women, Feuerschwanz is a special band in many different ways, but also that, you have two core members of the band that don't play music at all, right? We've got Mush and
Mew. Yes, they are members nearby the band and integrated in the band for a long time. And yes, some people say as show dancers, but for us it's more role playing. And in the last years, they have a dance trainer, and now step by step, it's a professional dance choreography too, and fire choreography and so on. It's very impressing, the energy of both.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But what is interesting about you guys is that there's other bands that have people that come on stage for either doing a dance or adding color to the stage or pyrotechnics and that kind of stuff. But with Feuerschwanz, they're actually given a very prominent role in the band. In music videos, even in interviews or creating digital content. And that's not something that you see a lot, that somebody that does not contribute from the musical perspective per se, to be considered part of that band. So are they at all involved when the band is working on new albums, new materials, on what the direction should be of the band, or do they come in at a much later stage?
Yeah, that's Feuerschwanz is a very democratic, creative band. So it's a big melting pot and for the ideas of a video, and we're discussing everything, and Mush Mush and Mio are integrated in this process. And yes, we find out they are great Schauspieler, great
Actresses?
Actresses, yes, and in much videos they have a powerful role.
Memento Mori, bis der Tod die Messer fetzt. Genau neben dir hier.
But at the end of the day, this album, is probably the best defined, and a little bit more on the serious folk power metal vibe. But then you guys, allowed yourself a lot of fun with the special edition version, where there is a whole second album, the Die Glorreichen Sieben, the Magnificent seven cover songs. Some, thinking about battle metal, you're covering Amon Amarth, you're covering Manowar, but then there's also the Weeknd and Ghost. So what was that like? How did the band choose which songs to give the Feuerschwanz treatment?
Yes, the story is we collect the special songs of every band member and the favorites, and this is a really a really special mix. But for Feuerschwanz, it's very good to have exotic songs from other genres. And, the Weeknd for me is a child of the 80s. It's very cool 80s sound, but it's not a hit from the 80s. And it's very cool. And yes, and for me, I'm a party guy from the 90s, and for me is very good The Bad Touch, my favorite song, but in a growl version. And yes, there are the party songs are on the cover album, Bad Touch or my Dragos Teatin Dinte. It's a party song. There are some party songs on this album. Yes.
Was there? Well, first, now that you mentioned The Bad Touch, I just have to ask: are you gonna be like running over the stage in monkey outfits, or?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know if it's a good question, but it's a question.
I think not monkey, but we have our own roles. It's more a Viking outfit, I think.
Denn das 11. Gebot gebietet zu leben, als wartet morgen.
It'll be interesting to see because I know you obviously people that have been following the band know that you guys had a very popular cover of a German song, Ding by Seed, I think. For somebody like myself, I never heard the original German song. I was only introduced to that song because I know Feuerschwanz and was introduced to it that way. And it's a fun song, but I can imagine that, for a lot of German people, that was a big introduction to the Feuerschwanz band, people that were not really into metal or folk music before. So with the increased focus of Napalm also pushing the band not just in Central Europe but globally, and the fact that you guys cover some very famous songs, it'll be interesting to see if that has a similar effect worldwide with more people discovering you guys. Because I believe that we're recording this on a Friday, and we are 2 days or 3 days away of the video for Warriors of the World to be released with a bunch of guests as well.
Yeah.
And so you must be pretty excited to see what the global response is going to be for these covers.
Yes, we are very excited, especially for Warriors of the World United, with the very good singers in it, Melissa Bonney, yes, Tom Winkler from ex-Glory Hammer, and
yeah, we can't call him Angus McFife anymore.
Angus McFife. Always for me he's Angus McFife.
Exactly.
And yes, and Alea from Saltatio Mortis, another German folk rock band.
Brothers everywhere, raise your hands into the air. We're warriors of the world.
You mentioned it, Memento Mori is a battle cry against the whole pandemic situation. And in Europe right now, some countries have opened up, some countries are not doing too great anymore and closing back down right now. What does that mean for your upcoming plans? Because I know that there's a bunch of tour plans with War Kings as well. What can you share with the fans? What should we keep our eyes open for?
The situation in Germany is not good. We have a new wave, the fourth wave, and very high incidences, and I think our tour cannot happen, and we are very sad. But we have a album release on New Year, and we try everything to make this for this day for the fans to a good experience. And so yes, it could be a surprise on this day. I think we are working hard for it, but I think we lose the tour.
I will fight for all that is real.
Oh, who's standing?
All right. Well, hopefully, things become better and changes can be made so that you guys can maximize your time. Now, I do have one more very, very serious question for you before we wrap it up here. I noticed that you were drinking a few times out of a glass, and that didn't look like mead to me. Does that mean that Odin cut you off of his special supply, or what's going on?
Today I have no meat in my castle, and so I need a new meat, and I hope Odin hears me and sends me some.
Sworn to fight and die, we're warriors of the world.
Sounds good. Well, Hauptmann, I really appreciate it that you take the time to talk with me today, all the way here in Canada. I very much appreciate it, and I look forward to the release of the new album. I've heard it already, and I never bullshit people, but this is by far my favorite Feuerschwanz album ever. I love the heaviness, I love the catchy and epic parts, and I think your fans are gonna be very, very happy.
Yes. Okay. So we see you next time with a new album, and I hope we can play live on a stage in next time.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.